A long time ago, in the not too distant future, tripods have subdued mankind. Check your heads, as this video is not for the capped. Hello and a big warm welcome to this week's Table Talk and to Model Kit Stuff. My name is Jason, as most of you I think will know. A special big welcome to the many new subscribers we're getting at the moment. I really hope you find something on the channel that you will enjoy, and for all of those who come back yet again, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, and a special welcome to those of you watching with your partners. Really appreciate it. So we have a special table talk today. I'm going to get very enthused in a minute, but we'll try and hold off for a moment. Special because we're celebrating 40 years of something that had a huge impact and still actually is having a bit of an impact on my life 40 years later. We have got absolutely loads to talk about today, including some really important stuff for you guys, the subscribers. We've got to talk about Christmas, something that is going to be of benefit to all of you, and we're also going to be talking about membership. So stay tuned, because this one is a special one. So before I get you into the usual run of things, I'm gonna start the story. We'll perhaps spread this out during the course of the video because it's a bit of a long story. I'm gonna take you on a bit of personal journey. So let's go all the way back to the early 1970s. Can't pinpoint an exact year, but my first memories of, well, actually of TV, but more importantly science fiction, is Doctor Who. And I guess for most people who were brought up in that time, Doctor Who was the most accessible bit of sci-fi for youngsters. So it was on at tea time, it was prime time viewing, and John Pertwee was my first Doctor, and actually saw him filming on location when I was so young that I don't remember it, which is a real shame, innit? But actually I consider Tom Baker to be my Doctor because when I was old enough to understand what was going on, he was my Doctor. And still probably my favourite Doctor, although one or two have come very close over the years. Tom Baker is still the standout one, I think. Anyway, 1975, I can absolutely pinpoint that year. Possibly the greatest sci-fi show of all time. Certainly had the potential to be. Space 1999 comes out, and it absolutely gripped me. The first series, now as an adult, I prefer to the second series, but as a youngster I enjoyed both of them. I really loved the stories in the first one. I could relate. There was an ongoing story, meeting aliens and traveling, being lost in space and all that sort of stuff really spoke to me. And then the second series, where we had the metamorph, and it was all action, and there was never any explanation as to why some people have disappeared, and some people have, although I think they allude to a heart attack for one of them at one point. But people disappear, new people arrive, complete new command set. I mean, basically it's a new TV series. But from 1975 we've got Space 1999, and it was repeated quite a lot, so I saw it a lot over the years, and then of course I bought the DVDs and stuff. So Space 1999 has always been there, and next year it's the 50th anniversary of that, and we're going to be celebrating that with a build, as you know. So that comes along. Then in 1978, this comes along. I think most of you, certainly in the UK, I don't know how far out this travelled the globe. Blake 7, you know, very, very close to Space 1999 for being the greatest sci-fi TV show ever. The storyline is brilliant. 4 seasons of it. Everyone was sad to see it go. And yeah, it was just brilliant. It was like nothing I'd seen before. We had a woman who was a villain and was, you know, really sort of scary and cruel and evil. She was like the Cruella of the future. She was nasty. You had a bloke with a patch on his eye who had a vendetta against our hero. You had a spaceship that looked nothing like anything you'd ever seen before, the Liberator. And yeah, classic good versus evil. We're being suppressed, but we won't lie down, and all that sort of stuff. And it was brilliant. And I think actually my favourite character in the show was Avon, rather than Blake, the supposed hero, who actually disappears a bit. He never convinced me. He never convinced me that he was the leader. Avon always came across more of the leader. I think he had a stronger character, and I think possibly a better acted role. I just liked him, and I liked his sarcasm, and you know, he seemed to be more intelligent than everybody else. So why wasn't he the leader? Surely, you know. I mean, when it came out, 1978, I was 8 years old. I was gripped to it. So that went on for 4 years, and then there's a bit of a break. Doctor Who was in a sort of a lull, and actually in the background, not that anyone knew this, BBC was sort of starting to toss and turn over whether Doctor Who should be cancelled. And then in 1984, the tripods came out. Blimey, that changed everything. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but now let's go back and have a look at what we did last week. So we kicked off Monday with the first impressions of this, and as you now all know, we will be building this actually very soon because the tempo is nearly done. So really looking forward to this. Someone made a comment, and I don't know why I'd not thought of this before, but in the video I point out painting this is gonna be difficult because of the corrugated texturing. And also decals will have a small challenge as well. Although I have done corrugated before. In fact, the first build we ever did on the channel was an interwar German aircraft with corrugate, another Junkers. Yeah. But someone said, well, what about basically Maskell? I can't remember exactly what his wordings were, but thank you for the suggestion, because even though I've got Maskell and I've used Maskell many times, it didn't occur to me. The question is, can we put it down with enough precision? But you could certainly fill the gaps with it. So something to look at. It will be a challenge to paint it, but we like a challenge, don't we? And you love it when I do something that's a little bit challenging. Because either I pull it off or I don't. I always do warts and all, you know. I don't care. I think it's important that everyone understands that just because you've got a YouTube channel doesn't mean that you're the perfect model builder. I muddle through these things like everyone else does, in fairness. So yeah, really excited to be building that. It'd be nice to be building a new kit again, although that won't be for the first time this year. because the Bulldog was brand new when we built that, and the lifeboat. So we've done a lot of new kits this year, haven't we? Though obviously we won't complete this within the time we've got left in 2024. But that started off our week. A lot of people giving it love, but it didn't get as many hits as normal. It underperformed as a video, and I go back, I've said it many times before, I can't work you guys out. Brand new tool, it's an aircraft. Around about 53% of my subscribers principally build aircraft as their main genre. So why that didn't do better, I don't know. I'm not aware that there's particularly many reviews of it on YouTube, so don't know. On Wednesday we did Sherborne, and it was a two-parter. So part 5A and part 5B. I brought part 5A out half an hour earlier than usual. Usually it's 8 o'clock. It came out at 7:30 or just before. And then the other one went out about an hour later. So anyone who was watching that from the kickoff could immediately go into the second one if they wanted. And I put a short out advertising this at the same time. So we put 3 videos out that day. So that might have messed with people. So if you missed one of the Sherbornes, or maybe both of them, go back and catch them. We complete all of the first planking of the Sherborne across those 2 videos. So that then gets you to the next stage, which is sort of sanding and some prep ready for second planking. So yeah, progressing nicely on the Sherborne and well received videos. So that was Wednesday. Right then, what was happening on the bench this week? Well, we started Saturday with Sherborne, and where we are with her was painting the lower hull in the white. So filling, sanding, painting, filling, sanding, painting is what we were doing. Haven't quite finished that process. I'm on the second fill at the moment, which I actually did last night. It's Wednesday as I record this, a Tuesday evening. I had grabbed my modelling night, and we did that, and then we did some well, actually we put the decal on the bagpipes. I'll show you that in a sec. So Sherborne progressing really nicely. I'm not going to show you her at the moment because she's covered in dust. She's part way through a sanding process, so she's an absolute mess, and I don't want to get sanding dust everywhere. So I'm not going to give you a preview like I usually do, but you'll catch up with that soon. So, and then Sunday we focused on the tempo, and I can show you that. So here we are. She's on her display base now. You will be looking at her from that side. So if I bring her forward, you can see she's on there. Cat in the foreground having a play. So we finished building up some of the parts on here, so that the headlights, it should have 2. I'm doing 1 broken off. I haven't finished the weathering, and I've got a couple of other bits to go on this yet. Handles, door handles and that sort of stuff need to go on. We did a lot of weathering. We attached the motor and the front wheel on. The chassis underneath went on with the rear axle and wheels. The rear mudguards went on. Loads and loads of weathering, and then we glued it in place because it's quite delicate and fragile. But yeah, really enjoyed that. That came together well, and you can see we've got through our painting issues. So yeah, all in all, it's come together quite nicely in the end. But like I say, not finished. So yeah, so we'll have, as you look at it, we'll have the figures in the background, or we might have the figures in the foreground and the tempo in the background. I don't know. I don't know. When it goes in my display cabinet, it'll actually, you'll be able to see it from all four sides, and this diorama will work from all four sides, because as you look at it that way, you'll get a good view of the engine compartment, and you'll have the back of the Highlanders sort of walking away, so that'll look quite nice. When you look at it as intended, with the composition, you'll see the tempo front on, you can see inside the tempo because the door's open, and you'll have the Highlanders walking in the background, so it will just make a nice composition, I think. If you look at it this way, you can see inside, not that there's anything in there, but you've got the Highlanders walking towards you with the bagpipe player at the front, and then if you look at it from this angle, you'll have the Highlanders in the foreground with the tempo in the background, but again, it will just set off the figures and give it some interaction. So I think it works all the way around. So yeah, pretty happy with it. Let me show you. We have now got our tartan on our bagpipes. There you go. Haven't finished painting the bagpipes, haven't finished painting the flesh, but you can see we've also got all the decals on the arm and stuff. So we're not far off. It's going to take longer than I think with the figures. I've got, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 processes left to do with the flesh. Then I've got to paint remaining equipment, guns and pickaxes and bits and pieces like that. I've got to do a little bit of work on the boots. Then I've got to add all the strapping for the various guns and things. So that's all got to be done. So that's photo etch forming, so annealing, shaping, gluing in, painting. Then we can mount them on, and as I said, I've still got some finishing touches to do on the tempo, such as door handles and some additional weathering and the glazing of the headlight. The rear view mirror needs to go on as well. So yeah, nearly there, but it's that bit at the end of the build where you can see the end of the tunnel, you can touch the end of the tunnel, but it's actually just an illusion because you're still miles away. In your head, you've finished and you've moved on to your next build, but in reality, you've still got loads to do, and that happens at the end of every build for me. Well, certainly for me. So that's what we got up to on the bench. Great progress on all of them. So yeah, I was happy we got plenty done in this week. Right then, stash ads. And to talk about stash ads, we need to carry on our story about the tripods. So, 1984, the tripods came out. I'm 14 years old, and in the late 70s, Jeff Wayne brought his musical version of The War of the Worlds out. And my dad bought it, double album, and I absolutely loved it. And my only understanding of H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds was through that music at that time. So in 1984, I know that music really well. I know the War of the Worlds story, and of course that's tripods. And I'm really invested in that story. I love it, but I've never read the novel. I understand that it's a novel, but I've never read the novel. And as I said last week, was it, or the week before, I'm not a great reader. Like many dyslexic people, I find it easier to read factual books. They tend, because you can break it down into bite-sized pieces, and you can understand the facts a little easier than trying to keep joined up a story that progresses. So I can read a novel and I can understand a novel, but I sometimes struggle a little bit in keeping that picture together because I'm concentrating on reading the words rather than absorbing the story as I go. So so novels don't work for me particularly well. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the first tripod story, and then we're going to overlay it with what was actually happening in the background that I didn't know, and then I'm going to bring you up to speed with what happened this year. It's bizarre. So 1984, 40 years ago this year, the first episode of The Tripods hits the screens, and it absolutely blew me away. It's very 80s looking now as you look at it. The graphics, so that it starts off with this gold triangle, looks like a printed circuit, but you don't know what it is. And you know by the end of the first episode, but you don't know what it is. And that sort of disappears into this triangular shape here, and then the tripods, the graphic comes at you and it turns and you zoom into it. Very elementary computer graphics, but absolutely cutting edge. And in fact, when the tripods hit the screen, it was the most advanced, technically the most advanced TV show ever. So advanced was it that they used a graphics, I'm not quite sure how you describe it, but basically a machine that would allow them to animate graphics that was so advanced there was only 2 of them in Europe. The BBC had both of them, and they were actually owned and used by the weather department of the BBC. So the makers of the tripod used these machines, but they had to use them when the weather department wasn't using them. So they're going in at night and working through the night on these machines so they could then let the weather department have them back in the day for animating the weather. That's how cutting edge it was. We had tripods that were walking, they were able to overlay backgrounds, so all standard stuff that's done all the time now. They were cutting this stuff for the first time, and as a result it was visually stunning, and it was tripods, and so it was very reminiscent of War of the Worlds, and yeah, it was just beautiful. And the basic story is, in the future, the planet is run by these tripods, which are aliens from out of space. We don't really know that until a little bit further down the story. The population of Earth has been subdued, and to keep the population sort of docile and not challenging, they get capped. So the little gold triangle that we just talked about gets shoved onto your head. It's called a cap. So at 15, 16, as you're becoming an adult, this cap goes on, and it removes any sort of curiosity or violent behaviour and that sort of stuff, and just makes you want to be happy and go on with your business. So the tripods can rule nice and easily. There are some people that avoid getting capped, and they're called and they're sort of, and it's illegal, and all that sort of stuff, and they're outcasts. And there are some people where when you get capped it goes wrong and they become vagrants, and that's the basic story. And we follow our heroes, which are 2 young lads that decide they don't want to be capped. They go on the run. They then meet up with a 3rd person when they get to France. And the first series follows the adventures of these people on the run. They've bumped into a guy called Ozymandias who's told them about these free people that live in the Swiss mountains, and they're sort of on the journey to that, and it's how they get there. And they go through Paris, and you see Paris in ruins, and and all that sort of stuff. The Vagrants, they all look like 80s punk rockers. It's quite amusing now when you watch it. So first series 1984, and I absolutely loved it. It had some slow spots, but basically at 14 it was gripping me. Unfortunately, the BBC saw it slightly differently. It was extremely expensive to make, and it was getting between 6 and 9 million viewers, which in those days they thought wasn't enough. These days you'd be made up. It would be the greatest thing ever made. Because at that time we've got 4 channels on British TV, 1984. So it didn't add up from a numbers point of view. Now, it had been commissioned as three series. So 1985, the second series comes on. So this is my final year of high school. Life is looking good because I hate school. Can't wait to get out of school. I'm not going back doing A-levels like my dad wants me to do. School doesn't want me back. But my dad sort of persuaded them that I can go back. I'm going off to work, and I go and start work as a butcher. So I'm 15 years old. The second series comes out. There's a lot more action in it. We see different types of tripods. We see red ones instead of silver ones, and they've got guns on, and we got more fighting. We see a lot less of the 3 original characters. The lead character from the 3 carries on and basically goes into the city that the aliens have built, infiltrates it to find a plan of how to destroy it, is the basic premise. And we have some new characters come in, and and it ends, the second series ends when our characters have got back to where the free people are in the Swiss mountains, and it's absolutely destroyed. And the famous closing line of the episode is, "Was it all for nothing?" Well, oh my gosh, I could not wait to see what happens. And I waited and I waited, and for about 3 years I was checking the Radio Times every week to see if the tripods was coming back. What I didn't know was that at the end of the second series, BBC had made a decision to cancel it because it wasn't making it worthwhile, the viewing figures against the cost of making it. So as I understand it, they sort of made a decision to cancel it, but they were already quite far down filming the second series, so they decided to finish the second series and make a final decision based on how that went. And they were still filming the second series and finishing filming it when they got the confirmation that there wouldn't be a third series. So I didn't know this, of course. Not being a great reader, it was all over the press, but I didn't read newspapers. So there was quite an outcry because a lot of people were really enjoying it, and like I say, it was state of the art, visually stunning. The story had got stronger in the second series, in the main, and we'd got to understand what was happening so much more. The story had developed. So over time, I sort of forgot about it, as you do. It disappears into the distance. And then 20 years later, on the 20th anniversary of the tripods, so 2004, the BBC released tripods on DVD. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know that for another 10 years. So I then got the DVD set 30 years after it had been released, around about 2014. I don't know the exact year. And I learnt something. Because inside this DVD case is a little leaflet. And I learnt, if I'd read the leaflet, I'd have learnt what would have happened in the third series. But I didn't read the leaflet. I just put the DVDs on and watched it. Now then, that's sort of where the story ended. And for me, where the tripods was done, it was nice to reminisce. It was nice to watch the programmes again. I still really enjoyed them, even though they were showing their age, and you could, oh, that's the actor that then went on to do, and so on and so forth. In fact, the three leading actors never acted again. One became a school teacher, one went into business, one is a truck driver, and you know, they all sort of disappeared and you never saw them again. But there was other characters in there that you saw in EastEnders and that sort of stuff. So, you know, the tripods for me was sort of done, but I've always enjoyed it. Then about 6 weeks ago, I was trawling through my home screen on YouTube looking for something to watch in the background, and I came across a video, 40 years of the tripods, and it hadn't really registered with me that it was 40 years of the tripods. A guy that has a channel, and I forgot the name of the channel, so apologies, but apparently he's a big sci-fi magazine writer. He did this episode celebrating the 40 years of the tripods, so I put it on in the background, and he said it was based on a trilogy of books. I didn't know that. If I'd read the leaflet in there, I would have known that, because it tells you. I've since read the leaflet. I read the leaflet 2 days ago. So yeah. Oh, it's a trilogy of books. So I got quite excited because now I could find out what happens, what came next, what was going to go on. You know, 40 years later, I'm going to have closure on this story. So I went on the internet and I bought the trilogy of books, but to my surprise, it came with 4 books. Why? Well, because in 1988, the author, John Christopher, who originally published these in the late 60s, before I was even born, he'd done a prequel. So I bought the full set of 4. I am, let's see how far. I started reading them. This is how slow I am at reading. And I only do a little bit in the evening at bedtime, just before I switch off. I am on page 84 of 151 pages. So part way through the first book. So I thought I'd read the books in order, just in case there's stuff that's different to the TV series. I now understand that there is. The TV series actually added stuff that's not in the books. So that's interesting. So I got the books. I was really excited. There's also a book come out called All for Nothing, The Tripods All for Nothing, which is a fan book celebrating the 40 years. It's quite expensive. It's pretty much £1 a year is what you've got to spend, plus a bit. But I think I'm going to get it anyway because I am a big fan. I didn't realise there was fan-based website. On Facebook, there's a fan site. It's got 500 plus people. I found that accidentally. I'm going to tell you the story about that now because it's all leading up to stash ads. So stick with me. So 6 weeks ago, I discovered not only that it was the 40 years of the tripods, which hadn't registered with me, but I discovered that it was based on books. So I got the books. Then I went to Telford, and as I'm walking around Telford, and you will have seen this in the video, on one of the sci-fi SIG orientated stands, there's 2 tripods. There's a silver one, and there's also a red one with the guns. I didn't know they made models of the tripods. Like, oh my God, what's that? I've got to find it. So when I got home, Sunday night, I mean, I got back 5:30 on the Sunday. By 7 p.m. on the Sunday, I had gone onto the internet. I had searched for the tripods models. I'd found the models, or an image of the model being built, which led me to Facebook, which led me to the Facebook group for the tripod fans, which led me to the build, which led me to the manufacturer, which led me to find the manufacturer, which led me to immediately buy a tripod model. And that is what's in this box. And my excitement wanes a little bit here. I mean, I've got a model of a tripod, amazing, beautiful, stuff of 40 years of dreams, to be honest. It's 3D printed, and it leaves a lot to be desired. The resolution of the printing is pretty naff. All the surfaces are going to need sanding. And for those of you that remember the tripods like me, the actual level of detail is junk. All of the detail underneath is completely missing. So here where it's completely smooth, we've got opening doors, we've got vents, we've got all sorts of stuff. I think the leg dimensions are slightly off, because when you look at it, the legs come in two halves. This bit here looks to be not stubby enough. It's a little thicker than this one, but it's not on here. So the whole thing is wrong. So I've basically bought something that's the basic shape of a tripod. And that's still exciting, but there is tons and tons and tons of work to make it actually look like a tripod from the series. So I can do lots of screenshots from my DVD, which is brilliant. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, all in all, I've had a very exciting journey with the tripods over the last 6 weeks, and it's amounted to me now having a model of a tripod, which is a dream come true, something I never thought was going to happen. And yeah, the tripods, if you remember the tripods, do leave a comment. What did you think of it, and what have you. It's a bit unusual because there is some, the guy that made the tripods for the BBC said they sort of padded it out to make it 3 series, but if they'd just stuck strictly to the story of the book, it would have been 2 series, which ironically would have been better because we would have had the completed story. So I have read the leaflet. I do know what the intended third season episodes would have been called, how many there were, and what was going to happen in each one of those. But I want to read the books and understand it properly. So yeah, quite a journey for me the last few weeks, but bizarre that this all comes together at the same time. I have seen someone else doing a 3D printed model of it, which looks extremely accurate, but he's done it for himself, so he's not selling them, he's just showing you how he's done it, and he's taken some imagery off the TV and scanned it, and so he's got all the detail on it that doesn't have. It's basically basic shapes, and you're going to have to do a lot of scratch building on it, which, as you all know, I'm not afraid of. So it will be a labour of love, and we'll have the tripods on in the background while we're doing it. And yeah, if you saw the short about today's video, then you got some of the intro music. It's a bit bizarre, isn't it? If I put the intro music in this video, I'll get hit for copyright. But if I do a short, you're encouraged to put some music in, and you don't get hit for copyright. How does that work? Don't know. Okay, news. We've got quite a bit to get through on the news, and I've got some things here to remind me. So let's actually start with Gaahleri. So Gaahleri have 3 new products out of 4 new products. I am very excited about the 4th one. I can't tell you what it is. It's all top secret. I'm sworn to secrecy, but I'm really excited about it. And you will get to hear about that at the end of this month. So Gaahleri have provided me with the 3 new releases. These are on the website. What I'd say is just hold fire, because we've got Black Friday coming up, and I'll be announcing that in a separate video. I might have already done it by the time you're watching this. I don't know. But what I want to do is review all of these around that Black Friday announcement. So you've already seen the storage box. You might have already seen this. I'm not sure. I've not actually recorded it yet. On Wednesday I've not recorded it, but I'd like to try and get it out Thursday. Storage box. I like the storage box so much that I've gone and bought another one. So I can put both the needles for my swallowtail in there, and then I don't need to keep the swallowtail box because I've got a container for my airbrushes. So yeah, so that I'm excited. It's really good, and I can tell you now, if you watch the video on this, I forgot to mention it in what happened last week, because it was an extra video. I mentioned in the video that it'd be nice to have a storage box for paint cups. Well, I can tell you, because they've told me, that they do have more storage boxes in plan for next year, and one of those will deal with paint cups. So that's fabulous news. So yeah, really handy for keeping those needles safe. I mean, even if you keep them in the box and the tubes, they are rolling around a little bit. So even with the protectors on, they should be fine. But this is just a nice petite way of doing it and keeping everything together. And I think it was a well thought out product, which is why I bought a second one. I don't need a third one at this point in time, but I'm gonna wait and see what else they bring out. Anyway, yeah, so that was the storage box. These, I'm going to do a video on it. It all depends on how I get on with reviewing this. I've tried them and had a play, and they are better than the AK ones. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. You might not bring up on camera, but you see the silver and you see the gold, and if you look at the silver, it's a bit like a felt tip pen. It leaves a sort of a witness as you drag along. So that was painted, the silver was painted using the side of an AK marker, as they tell you in the instructions how to do it. The gold, we did exactly the same process. One swipe, same as these, one swipe, and it's perfect. There's no blemishes, there's nothing. It's gone down perfect. With the AK markers, you're doing 2-3 coats. With the new metallic markers from Gaahleri, 1 coat's enough. So these are like Posca paint pens. So you'll be, yeah, I'll get this out as quickly as I can, because this is a great product. They're not expensive either. Yeah, great little pens. Comes in a lovely storage tin. Well, it's not tin, it's card. It's got instructions for using them on the first time you use them. You've got various little instructions, and you've got, you know, you've got a pen with a nice pointy nib. They're really nice, and I'll just show you that. That's your range of metallic colours. But I will do a proper short little video talking about them. So 10 metallic colours in there, and I really like them. So we're just needing to do some more in the range now, don't we? Right, this is an entry level, I think, airbrush and compressor kit. So it's tabletop compressor, ideal for people with limited space because it's a fraction of the size of the big thing with a tank and all that. Comes with everything you need. You've got the air hose, you've got the airbrush to get you started off. It looks like quite a nifty piece of equipment. I haven't unwrapped any of it yet. I haven't tried it. I'm interested to know how quiet it is, how much shake we get on the table when it's running, how easy we can adjust or can we adjust the air pressure. I know you can change the air pressure, but how easy is it? And just my thoughts on it. So as always, I give you my honest thoughts on it. So I've been given it for review. I will review it, and if I think it's junk, I'm going to say it's junk. If I think it's good, I'm going to say it's good. If I think it's okay, I'll say it's okay. You know. So we're going to review that ahead of the Black Friday deals. There is some good deals. It's going to be up to 55% off on Gaahleri. Plus, you can get my 10% off. And a little bit of news on the 10% discount. I didn't realise this, I've got to be honest. So I've never mentioned this to you before because I didn't know. But it was a one-off discount code and I didn't know that. So you used it once and then you couldn't use it again. I didn't realise that. Anyway, that's been changed now. So you can use my discount code multiple times. So you can go in and buy again and again and again, and you can use the code. So that's a permanent 10% off as long as you go through using my my link. I'll put that all back down again. They've relaunched the website. It looks really nice. It's easier to navigate. It's got the new products on, but Black Friday, just, you know, by all means put things in your basket, but just wait. So that's what's happening with Gaahleri, and then like I say, end of the month I've got something that I'm really quite excited about. I've had a preview of it. I've not seen it. It's winging its way to me, so I will have one before product launch, so I can play with it, and I'm going to try and get a video out on product launch day, which will be fantastic because it's yeah. Anyway, moving on. Other very, very exciting news, probably for some of you even more exciting than airbrushes. So as modelers, we all need tools, and I'm working out the details right now, but I have come to an agreement with a UK tool company to get you guys a discount. So this will be for all model kit stuff viewers, although primarily it's aimed at subscribers. What I was trying to do was get a discount for my subscribers. A thank you from me for you subscribing, just a little something, yeah. So a discount from a UK based tool supplier. They do ship nationally, but by the time you've got postage, you're probably not saving money on local. And the majority of my subscribers are UK based, so it works for most people. Yeah. So yeah, I'd narrowed. I knew I wanted to do a discount some time ago, and I've been looking at who are my preferred tool suppliers, and you know, have 2 or 3 for different things. And there is one that I really liked online, and I knew they were going to Telford, so I wanted to just go and have a look at how they presented themselves at Telford, how friendly the staff were, get a feel for it, you know. And I shopped with them at Telford on both the Saturday and the Sunday. I bought the reciprocating sander from them, which I've just done a video on, and I was impressed. You know, they were extremely busy. They were one of the busier tool stands. All the tool stands were busy, but there's one that a lot of people know, which I don't like, and I don't like them as a supplier, and I don't really use them because they have quite a limited range and they've hardly ever have stock, so it's just annoying. One of them was I don't like the way you can order from them on the internet. It's very clumsy. You're best buying from them at a show, which I have done and I did do, but buying from them online is difficult and old-fashioned and very early 90s like, and it just doesn't work for me. There was another tool supplier there. Range was okay, but it was a bit basic. So I was looking for someone that I had in mind who I wanted it to be. So yeah, I will announce it, but this week we agreed we're going to do it. So we're just going to work out some of those details, put that video together. So sometime over the next couple of weeks, I'll be announcing discounted tools for you, how to get them, code to use, and all that sort of stuff. I will share with you. So I'm really pleased and proud that I can give you guys something as a little thank you, because we're about to do membership, which is going to be a thank you for those people who can afford it. And not everyone can, and I get that. And the hobby can be expensive if you let it be. And so you're not really going to want to, you know, if you've got limited budget, you want to spend it on the hobby and not on things like a channel membership. I fully get that. And as ever, my videos will always be free. There won't be stuff, important stuff that you miss as a free to watch subscriber, but you're still a subscriber, and I'd still like to say thank you to you. So you've now got a discount on really good quality airbrushes. You've now gonna have a discount on tools through Model Kit Stuff, and that's just my way of saying thank you for supporting the channel, because I do really appreciate it. I enjoy it because of you, as you know, and if I can give a little something back, then why wouldn't I? But you know me, integrity is my most important thing, and I am not going to work with someone that I don't believe in. So I work with Gaahleri because I believe in their products. I have been approached by another airbrush manufacturer from China, and I'm not sharing any of their products, and I won't work with them because I don't believe in their products. I think they're cheap junk and make a quick sale and move on. And I have a reputation to maintain, and my reputation is that I'm open and honest with you. I'm not going to be getting anything out of the tool deal for myself other than I can use the code. So there's nothing in it for me. I get with Gaahleri, I get a small percentage back that goes into the channel on sales. But for me, that's just a cherry on top. I am not going to promote something just to make revenue. That's not what I'm about. So I would rather have less revenue and be honest with you, because I have reviewed tools and said, you know what, this isn't essential, you don't need it, and I've said that some of them are nice to haves, and some of them have said they're a nice idea, but do you really need it? Some of them have said are gimmicks. But genuinely, with the Gaahleri stuff, you know, I'm not actually using my expensive airbrushes. I'm not. I'm using the Gaahleri ones, and that's a fact. So yeah, And it's the same. I've taken some time over choosing a tool supplier because I want them to firstly have innovative tools, the stuff that's just released, the latest stuff, the stuff that people are interested, because once you've got your basic tools, you've got your basic tools, right? So I didn't want it to be just a basic tool supplier. You know, there's only so far you can go with that. Oh, I need to replace my nippers, you know, whatever. Although they do have an interesting set of nippers. But yeah, at this stage, it's just, I've done a deal for you guys. And it's with a supplier that I have bought from online, and I know the service is good, and I've met the people when I've been at Telford, although I didn't talk to them about this until after Telford. So yeah, I am happy that these people will do right by you, and that's why we're going to go with it. So there you go. That is my news on tools. Let's talk about membership now. So membership, yes, we are going to do it. Firstly, a massive thank you to those people that put themselves forward to help with the admin of the Model Kit Stuff Facebook social page. I have had multiple people say they're interested. I will make a decision this week. Most people have emailed me and given me a little bit of background as to why they think they'd be okay for the role. Not everyone. Some people have said, yeah, I'd love to get stuck in and help, and you know, I've done it before. You know what? A massive thank you to all of you. Right now, I'm going to pick two. I've fallen very lucky that I have one volunteer from the USA. So that's going to work for me because I'm going to have sort of round the clock admin. Not that it's like a full-time job or anything, but it means that when in Europe we're all asleep, there's someone still awake on the US side. So US and Canada are my second largest areas outside the UK, and then it's Europe, and then it's Australia. So yeah, we're covering we're covering both sides of it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick someone. I'm going to just think about it from what's been said. Probably email you. I know I've not emailed any of you. Sorry, but I've been bombarded this week. What I'll do is I'll email you back. I might email back one or two questions, and then I'm going to pick one, and I'll probably leave the rest of you then as a reserve. So if it gets like to a point where the admins feel that more admins are required, then we can bring you into that. So I will be making. I'll be emailing the everyone that's offered over the course of the next week, and letting you know what my thoughts are. Then I'm going to do a little bit of work with the admins to give them my vision of what that Facebook page is and what I don't want on there, and therefore, you know, some of the rules. I'm going to use the experience of them both being on Facebook, and the person I think I'm going to pick having plenty of experience of being an admin on multiple Facebook sites, so we can sort of agree some of the ground rules together so we're all on the same page. Then we'll go live. So probably 2, maybe 3 weeks away from launching membership, and with that membership you'll get access to the Facebook page, which won't be visible to anybody that's not a member. You won't be able to search it and find it. It'll be one of those hidden ones. Well, I suppose you might be able to search it and find it, but you won't be able to get access to it. So it'll just be a closed area. So it'll be a nice little social group, people that you probably interact with in the comments, and maybe on a Friday may well be in there. But you'll have the opportunity to share with me and other subscribers your builds, ask questions. It'll be really good when we're doing group builds where you can show your progress and stuff, and we've got 2 group builds coming up next year. So I'm quite excited for it. It will create an additional stream of revenue in theory, but I think in practice it won't. In fact, it might reduce my revenue because the membership fee, the monthly membership fee, will be less than most people donate in a month. So you could join the members and that would be your donation. It would be less than I'd normally get. But it will also give you the advantage of you don't have to remember each month to manually do it. It'll just be taken. The problem, of course, was the membership is run through YouTube, and they take 60% of it. So I'll only get 40% of the membership fee. So I think the membership fee is going to be $4.99 a month, and I'll get 40% of that. So I'll actually only get a tiny slither. But I think it's worth it to create this very controlled Facebook page. I have had a modelling Facebook page before, and it was an utter nightmare. Loads of trolls, people trying to take over it, and you know, people being argumentative and keyboard warriors and all that, and I just closed it because it was just a nightmare. And it's not easy to close a Facebook page. You know, you sort of close it, but it's still there for another 6 weeks, and oh, that in itself is a nightmare. So yeah, membership is coming. We'll announce it properly. Admins, I'll be talking to you this week. People that volunteered to be admins, I'll be talking to you this week. Facebook page, I need to set it up and get it ready to go. And what have you, and get the admins invited in, make sure that I've set them up, and then we'll go live. Once that Facebook page is up and live, that's when I can switch on membership per se. So there you go, lots of stuff coming up, lots of stuff. That's not the only news that we need to talk about. We need to talk about Christmas. And here he is, old Father Christmas. At the North Pole, you need to be getting your letters sent to Santa. Dear Santa, I would really, really, really like this model kit so I can get involved in the group build on model kit stuff next year, that sort of thing. But we are getting to that time of year when you need to start thinking about the subscriber showcase. So if you are one of my many new subscribers and you've not seen a subscriber showcase before, you're in for a treat, because it's actually my highlight of the year. I look forward to this so much, because at the end of the year what we're going to do is we're going to share all of your builds. Yeah, well, not all of them. You're gonna pick a favorite. We're going to do it slightly differently this year. Usually I say pick a favorite build, give me 3 pictures. What I'm going to say is this year, because it's going to be bigger again, I'm going to say you can have 4 pictures and you can have multiple models, as many as you like, within the limit of 4 pictures. So it could be your favourite build of the year, 4 pictures from 4 different angles, or it could be your 4 models you've built this year, one picture of each model, or 2 models, 2 pictures, 1 model, 3 pictures, and 1 model, 1 picture, whatever you like. 4 pictures, as many models as you like within that 4 pictures. Just bear in mind, if you try and be clever and put multiple pictures within the picture, there's always someone who's going to try and get 8 models crammed into 4 pictures. Just be mindful that it will get lost on the screen size. So 4 good pictures. You do not have to be a creative genius. You just need to grab your phone, yeah, and take a picture and send an email to me. But not now. I get inundated with emails, which is why I'm a bit slow answering them. I get tons and tons of emails, and it's easy for me to lose them. So we'll give you a start date next week. It's probably going to be from 1st of December, and I'm probably going to give you like a a 2-week window to get all your pictures in, and then I can create the video. But especially if you've not done it before, it's great because what we do is we string all those pictures together in a video, and we launch the video and we see everyone's work. Now, I could be making a massive rod from my back here. 10,000 subscribers all sending in 4 pictures. 10,000 emails. No. Thankfully, it's just a handful of you that do it. But I would encourage you to, because the important thing about modelling is you enjoy it. Not what you think your ability is compared to somebody else's ability. So we can't all build a model like some people on YouTube can. We can't all build a model like some people in magazines can. That's fine. Just want to see what you were doing. You know, what was your passion this year? What was it that you built? What was it that really, you know, enthused you or frustrated you or whatever it was? You know, I'm not the best model builder in the world. I make mistakes, things don't come to plan, you know, but I still enjoy building the models. I will put some pictures up at the end, but this is really all about you and your builds, and I look forward to it. I really, really do. So start thinking about it now. Models that you built this year. Which ones did you really enjoy? Which ones do you want to share with other people that you built? So if you were part of the B17 group build, you've already done it, but I know some of you didn't quite get those B17s finished in time. Here's your opportunity to show them in the showcase. So yeah, think about it, but do not send me an email now, because I will miss it, or I might see it and then it might get lost, and you might end up not being in the showcase, and I really don't want that. So wait until I switch that big green light on and say, yep, send me those pictures. But I want you to be thinking about it, because Christmas is around the corner, and we like to do some different things at Christmas. We'll do some fun things, and I'm working on something with somebody which I think will be fabulous. If I can pull it off, I think it'll be fabulous, and I'm really hopeful we can do it. The person that I'm trying to organise this with, he's up for it in principle, but he's never done it before, so gonna have to support him through that process. But I really want to make this happen. Think it will be a lot of fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it immensely. So yeah, and who knows, could be the start of something different for him. But yeah, hoping to pull that off, a nice little something for sort of the Christmas, between Christmas and New Year period. You can see by my face, I'm excited about the prospect. But when I can confirm that that's happening, I will tell you more. So the best thing you need to do is hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you don't miss Table Talk, and you know exactly what's coming. Right, I think that's probably it for news. That was enough though, wasn't it? Sorry about the light, it's getting a bit dark outside. I think it's gonna snow again. We are ready to talk about the week ahead, finally. Okay, so in this week coming up, Monday, we've got a little video talking about adhesives. I've used the opportunity that I bought some at Telford to talk about the adhesives that I use, my core adhesives, what I use them for, and why I use these particular products. So I think some of you will find that quite interesting, especially those of you returning to the hobby maybe. So we do that on Wednesday, Endeavour Part 22. We're getting towards the end of the Endeavour. There might be another Wood Wednesday video, there might not be. Yeah, and then Friday should be Scharnhorst. I think I'll have enough material. If not, I'll do a live stream. In between there, we might get some other videos. So some of these reviews might come out as well, and there might be the Black Friday announcement. So quite possibly a very busy week for the channel coming up. So yeah, that is the week ahead. We'll be working on the let me see, the Fly on the Saturday. That's what will be on the bench, and we'll be working on the Scharnhorst on the Sunday. So yeah, I think I have enough material for the next tempo build anyway. So Scharnhorst is where I need to be. So yeah, that's the plan, I think, going forward. Well, I think that's it for this week. Some of you might have spotted we've had a little bit of a rearrangement on the desk. I've been getting occasionally a bit of a sore shoulder, and usually when I'm working, my work screen used to be here, so I was sort of working at an angle, and I was wondering if that was giving me a problem. So now I have my works computer on the main desk, and I'm looking forward, and that seems to be a bit more comfortable. So yeah, we'll see. That's why things are the way they are. But yeah, I think lots going on as always, but some real interesting stuff coming up, and looking forward to next month as we get to Christmas. It always gets a busy time for me, so if you are emailing me about things, please be patient with me. I will get back to you, but I might not get back to you straight away because I've got a lot of things that I'm trying to organise for you guys for Christmas videos and what have you, and try and keep my builds going. So I've actually got material to share with you. So very, very busy time. A big thank you to everyone. I especially appreciate those of you that take the time to leave lovely, positive and constructive comments. I've had to do a little bit of blocking over the last few weeks, but that seems to have dropped off a little bit. We've had an influx of subscribers with some of the wooden kit stuff that we've been doing recently, which is to be expected, and is really nice. So yeah, thank you everyone. Have an amazing week. You enjoy your modelling, and we will be back, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's free, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can hit my PayPal link in the text below. Every pound goes straight into the channel to keep the cameras rolling and to do more fun stuff for you to watch.